Championship season is back upon us, and the scriptwriters are hard at work to tell the story of some of the best speedcubers who met up in Minneapolis, USA to compete in North American Championship 2024. Some big-name cubers came to join the party, such as Tymon Kolasiński and Max Park, but we found that some of the most exciting moments came from up-and-coming cubers who are still looking to make a name for themselves in the history books. CubersLive is here to bring you the top 10 moments at North American Championships. So, if you missed out on the broadcast, have no fear. You've come to the right place to learn all the things that happened this championship weekend. At number 10, we have North American All-Stars 2024. Even though it wasn't specifically related to North American Championships, we thought it was important to encapsulate how important this event was for championship weekend. Held in the Rotunda of the Mall of America, 28 of some of the fastest competitive speedcubers from all around the world, such as Tymon Kolasiński, Matty Hiroto Inaba, and Luke Griesser faced off against each other in a special competition designed to celebrate their skills, and man, they did not disappoint. Notably, we had some amazing personal records achieved by Brian Johnson, who clocked in a 5.74 second average in 3x3 round 2, and Ray Bai, who achieved a double personal record with a 6.32 average and 5.21 second single. Ray entered the final round as the 10th seed and finished strong with a 5th place performance. We had amazing moments such as Dylan Miller executing the final solve of round 2, where the stakes were so high that it could have made or broken his path to finals. The audience inside the rotunda was dead silent as Dylan prepared, and he flew through the solve and punched his ticket as the 6th seed heading into the final round. But of course, what stole the show was the epic head-to-head match between Tymon Kolasiński and Matty Hiroto Inaba. Coming in as the 3rd and 4th seed respectively, these competitors had a lot to prove after underwhelming performances in round 2. Matty showed consistent results, with his first attempt being a 4.76 second single to highlight his performance. However, Tymon was the lead dog and set the pace for the match, as he started with a 4.38 second single on the same scramble, and later in solve 3 achieved an unbelievable, show-stopping 3.92 second solve. Which also has to be one of the most electric things to happen inside the Mall of America. Matty and Tymon continued to go back and forth, trading blow after blow of amazing solves. Tymon was actually on world record pace. However, on his 4th solve, he got a 6.80 second single, meaning that if his final solve was not up to standard, the momentum he gained was going to be potentially for naught. On Matty's final solve, he got his worst single, leading to a still blazing fast 5.35 second average of 5. To follow this up, Tymon capped off the event with an absolutely clutch 5.01 second single, which provided Tymon a comfortable sub-5 average of 4.90 seconds and leading to his crowning victory at North America All-Stars 2024.
0.90 average! Amazing from Tymon!
At number 9 is Dominic Redisi's clutch performance in Scube Finals and Lou to becoming the Scube North American Champion. Dominic certainly had a lot to prove in a stacked field with the likes of established veterans such as Zane Kanani and Carter Kukala, but coming into finals, it was Dominic that had the upper hand as he entered as the number 1 overall seed. However, Dominic chose the most difficult path with an utterly gut-wrenching 4.60 second single to start off his average. With a single that is nearly double the time of a typical Scube average, Dominic now had to perform at his absolute best with no margin for error. He did exactly that with amazing solves in succession. He locked in a 1.74, 2.32, and a blazing fast 1.12 second single on his 3rd solve, which also proved to be the fastest single of the final round. With his original 4.6 looming large, Dominic still needed to get as fast a time as possible on his 5th attempt to have a chance at winning, and he got a very respectable 1.92 second single, which put him in pole position as the other top competitors were wrapping up. With the other competitors struggling to capitalize on the situation, Dominic was able to leave the round as the champion of the event and has now made a name for himself in the greater speedcubing community, especially coupled with his all-star performance at the Mall of America the week previously. If you wanted an insight onto how stressful this environment can be, Dominic was not even initially available for the post-game interview due to a nosebleed. If you ask me, that's wild, that's for sure. Up next at number 8 is Max Park, who as everyone expected has provided the competition a flurry of world record updates. So it's only fitting we highlight all of his achievements here at Speedcubing Top 10. Max first updated his 5x5 world record with a 34.76 second average. In this round, Max counted a 33.75 second solve and was also the only competitor to not get a 40+ second solve. Now that's consistency at its finest. In 7x7, Max crushed the competition with an incredible world record single of 134.15. Since in 7x7 rounds, every solve counts, Max pretty much locked in first place for the round after this solve, as nobody would come quite close after that. It was so fast that did you know if Max competed in the 6x6 rankings with his 7x7 single, his solve would still be 67th in North America? And finally, continuing his dominance in classic finals fashion, Max showed out in 6x6 finals with an epic 105.88 average to lock in his bid as North American champion. Winning the round by over 10 seconds, Max reminded us all how much of a lead he has over the field in N-by-N puzzles. At number 7 on our top 10 list is Andrew Mau's Canadian record for Pyraminx in the final round to secure the win and become the 2024 North American champion. Andrew started off his Pyraminx rounds pretty rough with a 302 average in round 1, which placed him 30th, and followed that up with a 5th place finish in round 2 with a 229 second average. Entering finals, Andrew was not on most people's radar, with a heavy focus on crowd favorites such as Michael Nielsen and Kyle Meade, who in previous years had podiumed at US Nationals. Very quickly off the stream, Andrew Mau was setting pace as he got comparable times to Michael Nielsen, outpacing him on every single solve. The projected live rankings saw Andrew sky towards the top of the leaderboard with no signs of slowing down. Some important context that was not entirely noticed by the spectators was the fact that Andrew was dealing with a thumb injury that was almost certainly affecting his dexterity. This became reminiscent of Zain Kanani's hand injury sustained in US Nationals 2023. But how would Andrew replicate Zayn's clutch up the year prior? With a clutch 2.13 second solve on his final attempt, Andrew stole the victory as a heavy underdog, as Michael Nielsen and Marcus Kamen were unable to capitalize on their final solves. That's exactly the story CubersLive loves to see here. Congratulations to Andrew Mau, and congratulations for Michael and Marcus for joining him on the NAC podium. Next up, we'd like to highlight Max Park's face-off against Tymon Kolasiński from Poland as our 6th moment on our top 10 list. Tymon and Max went head-to-head in 4x4 finals, and it was a treat to watch. Max started off blazing hot with a near world record 16.48 second single, but Tymon was keeping up to his pace with a 17.62 second single of his own. Over the next 2 solves, Max would slowly widen his gap as he continued to edge out Tymon's solves by seconds each. However, this is where Tymon put on an absolute banger of a solve with a 17.29 second single on his 4th attempt, making his first 17 count in his overall average. At the same time, Max started slowing down with a result of 22.72 on the same 4th solve. It came down to his 5th solve as he needed a low 17 to win the event. Although he put up a valiant effort, he was not able to take advantage of the moment, and this ultimately led to Tymon's crowning as the winner of the 4x4 event in North American Championships. Fun fact, did you know that Max Park had more than double the amount of parodies that Tymon got, as Tymon managed to escape with 2 out of 10 parodies for the round? That goes to show the electric nature of 4x4 as an event. Did you know that in cubing there was a special event where we compete to see who can solve the 4x4 puzzle blindfolded? That's exactly what we want to highlight on Speedcubing Top 10, as Stanley Chappell's first place finish takes up the 5th spot on our rankings. Stanley in 4x4 blindfolded has been one of the most dominant cubers ever seen, being the only cuber to complete the event in under 1 minute, and also winning every national, continental, and world championship he's competed in since 2018. With such a large lead in the field, you'd imagine that he would be able to outpace everyone else and safely capture the victory. However, he started off slow with a 1 minute 33 second solve that was followed up by the DNF. All at the same time, friend of CubersLive, Elliot Kobolansky, clocked in a 125.76 single on his 2nd solve to put the pressure on Stanley to deliver. Starting execution at 40 seconds, he was already behind his record-setting pace of the past. Visibly shaking and struggling to recollect his memorization, it came to the very end as Stanley edged out Elliot with a 125.21 single on his final solve. With very little pausing at the end, Stanley had no margin for error and escaped with a thrilling victory as he was crowned the back-to-back North American champion. Here at CubersLive, we couldn't ignore the fact that Max and Tymon faced off back-to-back in head-to-head finals of not only 4x4, but 5x5 as well. So coming into our 4th highlight is Max and Tymon's 5x5 brawl in finals. Are you guys catching a theme here? Tymon started out clearly ahead with a 36.30 and a 34.12 second single, while Max fell behind very quickly. However, Max crawled his way back into contention with improving results on solves 3 and 4 that were faster than Tymon's. Going into Solve 5, Tymon knew he needed something excellent to keep his distance from Max, and boy did he get that. He got a 38.56 single to secure a new 5x5 European record. Max didn't do shabby himself and got a faster time with a 36.52 second single on Solve 5, but it wasn't quite enough as Tymon was able to steal a victory, edging out Max Park by less than half a second. Are you excited to hear what CubersLive crowned as the top 3 moments at NAC? Coming in next is Brendyn Dunagan's North American clock record that was set during the final round. As clock finals was set to begin, Brendyn was facing an uphill battle as he was only able to secure himself the 8th seed in the second round previously, and had to face juggernauts such as Tommy Cherry, as he was also expecting a top 3 performance. Brendyn started off well with a 346, but suddenly put the foot on the gas afterwards with back-to-back sub-3 singles of 288 and 298 seconds. After a rough 4th solve with a 5.55 second solve, he knew that a poor final solve would ruin his first place pace. So what did he do? With all eyes on Brendy, he clutched up with a 3.15 second solve, which not only crowned him the North American champion, but also returns the North American record back into his possessions with a 3.20 second average. Did you know that Brendyn achieved the record in his very first competition just 3 years ago in 2021? It looks like this was all meant to be in the Brendyn Dunagan script.
I'm here with Brendyn Dunagan, just became North American champion in clock, setting a North American record. Brendyn, we see the emotion. How are you feeling?
I can't believe it, honestly. I switched to 7th cymbal in October, and I didn't get to compete with it until January, and I've been failing all my rounds until semis where I almost got NAR average in the semifinal, and then in finals I just clutched up with the 320 NAR average. I can't believe it, honestly. It's insane. I just had a good mindset going into the final. I was just, trying to relax a little bit and, look in the crowd, see my friends, have a good time. That's all I really want to do is have a good time. And I think I've achieved that already, just by day 1 at least.
You have such a cool support system around you, people high-fiving you, hugging you, big reaction after. What message do you have for those people?
I love you guys. Thank you so much. That's all I have to say.
Brendyn, congratulations.
Surprise, surprise! CubersLive has selected Luke Griesser's epic 3rd place finish in Cuber 3 finals as our second favorite moment at North American Championship. Buckle up because there's quite the story to tell. Back in 2023 last year, Luke was aiming for a win in US Nationals. However, he went viral for exactly the thing you would not like to be known for, an unfortunate choke in finals. He wasn't able to execute an important ZB, which has been a notorious video up to this point, but he also was not at his peak performance throughout the finals. He ultimately finished 11th, even though he entered finals as the number 2 seed. Fast forward a year later, Luke has been on quite the revenge tour. Peaking with a 551 average in 3x3, he's kept his focus on avenging his loss. Entering finals as the 4th seed this go around, Luke had a progressively strong start in his average by getting a 669 on the first solve and followed that up with a 618 and 529 second best single on solve number 3. This is when the trials and tribulations reared their ugly heads yet again for Luke. It turned out to be quite the test of adversity for him, as he actually got his 4th solve disqualified due to a turn in inspection that was barely noticeable. This means that Luke would require a 567 second solve to overtake 1st place, which based on his trends seemed to be quite a tall task to handle. Starting off the solve just a tad shaky, Luke shouted his inner demons of the past and clutched up during his last layer with effortless turning en route to a 545 second solve on his 5th attempt. Watching it live, it seemed like he wasn't going to get it done, but having no pauses during the last layer in a round where everyone seemed to struggle was incredible to witness. Since there was only Tymon and Max who needed to compete, Luke was guaranteed a podium and at least 2nd place on the North American podium. Congratulations to Luke Griesser, and we are excited to see what he will bring to the World Championship in Seattle.
Shout out to Clicky Studios for putting me 9th in finals predictions. I had you in mind.
You guys expected nothing less, but coming in as our favorite moment from the North American Championship was Tymon Kolasiński's 3x3 finals performance against Max Park. As much as this was a head-to-head finals, it was truly the storytelling on Tymon's side that makes this moment so meaningful. From beginning to end, Tymon displayed dominance en route to winning the 3x3 event at the championship, but there is so much more to unpack out of this. Dating back past 2017, Tymon had never beaten Max Park in a World, Continental, or National Championship round that they both competed in. In an era where Max Park took the mantle from Felix Zemdegs and carried on the new generation of cubers, Tymon has been in the background, steadily improving and innovating the 3x3 space with incredible solutions that involve last layer ingenuity, pseudo-slotting, and blazing fast ZBLL recognition. Fans of Tymon, including us here at CubersLive, believed that Tymon would rightfully carry on the legacy of the face of cubing after Max Park. But with the recent advent and uprising of Chinese cubers, spearheaded by Yiheng Wang, who was a legendary cuber in his own right, there were concerns that Tymon would never receive his moment of shine in the history books of the cubing annals. Fast forward back to this year, where Tymon has very apparently upped his game for 3x3. In the month of May alone, Tymon secured 10 sub-6 averages with nothing slower than 5:59 seconds. His last average that was slower than 6 seconds was not since December 2023. He is noticeably turning faster and turning more accurately in his solutions, and is also rumored to be attempting to inspect into the last layer steps. All of this has culminated into an epic finals performance, which was capped off by his 4.94 second solve. Watch his solve in reaction to that memorable win for him. Tymon leaves North American Championship with a nearly sub-5 3x3 performance across all 4 rounds. He has his eyes on Yiheng Wang and World Championship 2025. Here at CubersLive, we're excited to capture the moments and see the script unfold. Can Max, Matty, and friends catch up to him to join the fun next year? That wraps up Speedcubing Top 10 for North American Championship 2024. Congratulations to all the winners, record breakers, all-stars, and North American champions who utterly showed out for the 2,000 plus crowd this past weekend. Big thank you to the organization team at Cubing USA, who was able to make this wonderful event happen, and shout out to Happy Feet Productions for making what has been undoubtedly the greatest week of cubing broadcasting to date. If you enjoy highlights and other cubing content such as discussions and podcasts, consider shooting a like, subscribing, and checking out the rest of our video library. This has been Chai for Speedcubing Top 10, and I'll catch you on the next one.